You need a heart, but you'll switch. Play your cards that you deal with. I'm a terror, I'm flipping myself, so show me love. I'm set like
no, this is Cam and this is Yugi-Flow. And in today's video, we are going to have to address the YCS event where the player was caught cheating. We're going to call it what it is. We call it spade a spade over here. He was cheating and he played imperm and then played another card in the same column. You'll see, we'll look at the video, we'll look at the reactions. I myself can't find where to find this video. So if someone has a better idea of where I can get that, please let me know. I'll do another reaction that probably will look a little bit better. But I did have to use someone else's YouTube reaction video to find the video. It's real raggedy. I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's the best I could do. But I did find what I find to be the best reaction video to this. His name is Distant Coder. I watch a lot of his things on rulings. That's my favorite thing of his to watch. So if you're into that type of thing, this is how I learn all my very specific rulings. I follow him. I watch his videos all the time. Shout out to him. I apologize for just using your video and then talking over it. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into it. And at the end, I'll let you know what I think. Can you guys explain to me, like, why they would have such an issue with you recording? I mean, I'm pretty sure it makes sense, but, like, I just don't understand it. Like, as long as everyone is doing what they're supposed to do, recording really shouldn't matter either way. And I don't know if there's, like, maybe some things that Konami wanted to release later on or what the vibe was, but please let me know.
So we're going to go over it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get opinions. But before we start, I wanted it to be made perfectly clear. We do not go on a witch hunt. We do not call people, like, insults. No one out here is, like, you know, a piece or anything like that. We're respectful. We are nice people here in the Twitch chat, here in the Kodo community, okay? Don't give me a bad name.
See, this is why this is my guy, because a lot of other videos that I've seen talking about this, like, they really went in on bruh, and, like, I'm going to watch it again and let you guys know how I feel, but I'm kind of torn on how I feel overall. But I definitely don't think this should be a witch hunt. Every play that's, you know, kind of suspicious does not mean they were purposely cheating or trying to get over on somebody or whatever. Like, I think that's important.
Send my page, main page?
Yep.
I will play Impermanence on Pancrocos.
Yes, from the bank.
So you can clearly see right here, he does line it up with his token, or not token, but his field icon, whatever that's called. I don't know. Y'all be putting in the middle of the mats. Anyway, it's clearly lined up. That's clearly the middle column or the third column, depending on how you want to classify it. Plain as day. So let's see what happens past
From in the middle column.
I will then play Zodiac Barrage. Okay.
Right here, you can clear as day see that it's still in the middle column, the way that it's lining up. I don't know how you can feel it's in any column but the middle column. Like, it's slightly over, but it's still 80% of the card is still exactly parallel with the field card. I'm going to call it the field card. I have no idea what it's called. I'll probably Google it. I probably won't. Clear as day.
Playing this one, Alpha Barrage.
Right here, you can clearly tell that he realized his mistake and tries to move it over. So it should be inactive. I mean, if I'm playing somebody and let's say I activate Fossil Dig in the column, they use Imperm, they're going to tell me, like, it doesn't work. Like, I can activate it, it's just the effects are going to be negated. So it's a two-way street for sure.
You did it in the middle. I told her.
Brett called him out immediately. So I think that's important too. Like, he didn't even let the next play go.
Don't try to scam. I told.
That shit is hilarious. Like, that is the definition of I'm lying. I'm putting my hands on who really does that in, like, actuality? Like, who's just there hands on my hip? You call him no, like, bro, like, you clearly cheated. Clear as day cheated.
So this is what happened. All right, just to look over it again.
Okay, so this is the first part of the video that people are being upset about. Here's my take on it as a whole. I think that he did make an honest mistake. I understand that it's like a big tournament, the YCS, all that. I get it. Me personally, though, if I'm going to lose to somebody, I don't want to lose to them because they made a small error like that. I would have personally let it go and just be like, hey, that's an imperm column, just so you know. But that's just me. I'm not saying everyone needs to do that. I'm not saying everyone's built like that. That's fine. But what I am saying is, bruh did call it out, though. It's like when you're playing basketball and you foul somebody. Some people are going to call it, some people won't. But once that foul is called and you know you fouled, just shut up and keep playing. You know you fouled him. That's how I feel here. Like, you know for a fact what you did. So, yeah, like, maybe dude should have let it go. I don't know how the game was going outside of this. It could have been, they both were very particular on what they were calling. And the person streaming, I don't think he was wrong. I just wouldn't have said anything. I just would have told him, like, hey, that's the imperm column. But I've also lost duels doing stuff like that because my opponent doesn't give me the same level of, I don't want to say respect because the rules are the rules, but it's not the same. But Brad, like, once he got called out, it was over. So before it even starts, I'm just gonna give you a heads up. I don't think the person who is getting cheated did a good enough job explaining exactly what was happening, exactly what the problem was. And here's where the person we're looking at, the one who did cheat, here's where he loses all my respect.
It's the third time we call a judge. My opponent did in the middle imperial order to my pancratops, and after that he activated his barrage. After 2-3 seconds, he changed the card in the other place.
And okay, so I will say this though, he was frustrated because dude did it and then pretending he didn't. So we've all been there and we're irritated and we just can't like get our words out correctly. I think that's just what happened here, but it would have been nice if he could have explained a little bit better what happened.
That fact I'm not sure. My opponent just tried because it seems that at the start of the match I just said his scam was pretty bad and he's trying.
And then he started talking about his turn being pretty bad. It's like, maybe that is why he called you out on it. Like, maybe he had a bad turn and you were... But, like, the thing is, you made a mistake, though. At the end of the day, even if your opponent's going to be salty, like, once you make a mistake and you get called out on your mistake, you got to just live with that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, maybe your opponent's being salty. Maybe they're not. But, like, you did what you did.
I to call the judge for everything. I just play impermanence. I play bars, and he say I play impermanence in this column.
Yeah, and that's not what he said. He didn't say he didn't say that you moved the impermanence or that you played impermanence in that column. He plain as day said that you played in the middle column. Like, this is where it's like, if he would have said, like, I mean, I can understand how the zones could, confuse you. Next time I'll make sure that my zones are clear to see or something like that. But, like, you just completely changed what happened. Like, now I'm no longer on your side about anything because of, like, what you just did.
I would love if you can bring a judge we called before, because he lied now. I didn't call first the judge. He called first the judge. After he did illegal move, I called the judge, and now I call again the judge.
All right, guys.
In defense of the...
In all honesty, too, it's just...
Judge?
The person who is getting cheated, I understand that you're frustrated, and the thing, when you're arguing with somebody and they know they're wrong and now they're trying to, save face, the worst thing you could do is try to argue every little point with them because you're losing your main ground that you're standing on. Like, whether or not who called the judge first or if your match was bad or whatever it is that he's saying, you can't get hung up on that. Like, that's not what I called the judge for. I don't care how many times I called the judge. I don't care what the situation was. Right now, he cheated. Here's how he cheated. He used impermanence in his zone. Then he tried to activate, was it barrage? In the same zone. That's it. Like, we don't need to worry about who called the judge first, because then it confuses the judge and it just sounds like a whole lot of nonsense at one time.
Both players aren't explaining the situation very clearly.
Granted, he did an amazing job. Please go check his channel out. If you wasn't feeling my reaction to it, his reaction might be more what you're looking for. It was great though. He had the best reaction to what was happening. But overall, after this, the judge just says he's gonna call main judge, and as we all know, bro ended up getting away with it, won the match, and whatever. Here's the summary of how I feel, my opinions of it. Bro who got caught cheating, clearly cheated. I wouldn't have called him out on it personally because it's too small of a thing for me to say something. I would just tell him like, hey, make sure your zones are clear. If he does it twice, then for sure. But he was called out, and I don't think the person who called him out was wrong. But once you're called out, you got to own up to what you did and just take the consequences. And he did everything in his power to try to lie his way through it, and it worked out for him. And that's not cool. I do think he should have a penalty, like not because the initial misplay, like I feel that, like I get it. It was an accident. Even him moving it, like like in his mind, he's just like, oh, I didn't mean to put it there. Right or wrong, I think that's just what happened. But once you were called out, once it was clear, you know what you did, then you try to lie when the judge came on, there gotta be consequences for that. Like we can't have people thinking that's okay, like getting over on the judges. I think the judge could have did a slightly better job of understanding exactly what was happening. But outside of that, I mean, it's very cut and dry. It was in the middle zone. If you don't think it was in the middle zone, then we should start mandatory zones on mats. Because to me, if I'm playing somebody and they had it there is a 0% chance I believe it's in any other zone but the middle zone. So if you feel differently, then we should do mandatory mats. Like zones and mats. Like, sorry. Because it's like, if you can't get that right, and we're on the same page on that, and that is so, it was like 80% lined up with the middle zone, like, then there's, especially with like decks like Mech Knight and Imperm being such a popular card at this point, like, zones matter in this game, sometimes. And when they do matter, we need to make sure we're on the same page. So with that being said, like I said, Yugi-Flow, I'll see y'all later.
Best. I don't fail shit, I don't rest. Or scoop a brick, I won't let you take a win, that's 2-0. Move slow when I combo, that's Dragon Link. Pass turn, no need to think. The world I'm in is virtual, where the sky's Ojama pink.